The UK is a cesspit of corruption, lies, and exploitation, ruled by a degenerate elite who see the public as nothing more than cattle to be controlled, taxed, and discarded. Every institution in this country, the monarchy, the media, the police, the government, exists solely to serve the rich and powerful while keeping the people in a state of misery. The truth is that Britain is a failing state, and those in charge know it. They just don't care. Why does Britain still have a monarchy? Why are we still funding a bunch of inbred elites who live in unimaginable luxury while millions of people struggle to afford basic necessities? The royal family is nothing more than a glorified crime syndicate, feeding off the hard work of the taxpayer while covering up their own vile scandals. Prince Andrew, a man so guilty he had to buy his way out of a court case, still enjoys wealth, status, and protection from the establishment. The media has all but erased his links to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, just as they've buried decades of elite paedophile scandals. The Jimmy Savile cover-up, the Elm Guesthouse network, the Westminster abuse files that conveniently went missing, all part of the same rotten system designed to shield the elite while destroying the lives of the innocent. These people are not public servants. They are parasites, thieves, and abusers. The idea that they are tradition is a joke. They are nothing more than the world's most successful welfare scroungers. The mainstream media in Britain is nothing more than a mouthpiece for the establishment. It doesn't exist to inform. It exists to manipulate, to control narratives, and to ensure that the public remains distracted and docile. The BBC, ITV, Sky News, Channel 4, all just different faces of the same beast, peddling government lies and corporate propaganda. Ask yourself, why does the media spend so much time pushing identity politics and celebrity gossip but never talks about real issues? Why is there blanket coverage of trivial nonsense but total silence on elite corruption? Why do they constantly demonize the working class, portraying ordinary people as racist, ignorant, or dangerous, while giving platforms to criminals and grifters? Because their job isn't to tell the truth. Their job is to keep people blind, divided, and fighting among themselves, so they never turn their anger on the real enemy, the corrupt ruling class. The British police do not serve the people. They serve the establishment. They are nothing more than heavily armed tax collectors and enforcers of tyranny. Where were the police when girls were being systematically abused and trafficked in places like Rotherham, Rochdale, Telford, and beyond? Nowhere. They ignored it. They covered it up. They allowed it to continue for decades because it didn't fit the narrative their masters wanted to push. But if you post something they don't like on Facebook, if you dare protest against government overreach, if you refuse to pay extortionate fines, suddenly the police are at your door, ready to drag you away. This is not about law and order. This is selective policing, where the establishment and their friends are untouchable, while the working class man gets hammered with fines, surveillance, and harassment for daring to speak out. The police are not heroes. They are enforcers of oppression, too cowardly to go after real criminals, but more than happy to bully law-abiding citizens. Britain is not a democracy. It is an illusion of choice, where every Prime Minister, every MP, every so-called leader is nothing more than another face on the same corrupt beast. It doesn't matter who you vote for, the agenda remains the same. The Tories, Labour, Lib Dems. They all serve the same masters: billionaire donors, foreign interests, globalist organisations like the World Economic Forum. They don't work for you. They work for those who pay them, and they are paid to make your life miserable. How many of these politicians have actually worked a real job? How many of them have ever struggled to pay bills, afford food, or heat their homes? None. Yet they pass laws that strip away your rights, push taxes that crush your wages, and sign deals that sell Britain out to the highest bidder. They are not leaders. They are criminals in suits. Britain is drowning in wealth, but not for the people. While working families are forced to choose between heating and eating, the banks, energy giants, and mega corporations are making record-breaking profits. How is this possible? Because the cost of living crisis is not a crisis. It's a carefully orchestrated wealth transfer. The government could cut taxes, but they won't. They could regulate corporate greed, but they won't. Instead, they force the public into financial ruin while ensuring their billionaire mates get even richer. This is economic warfare. The UK's immigration system is not about humanitarian aid. It is not about diversity or economic growth. It is about destabilization. It is about breaking apart communities, straining public services to collapse, and ensuring that Britain becomes a fractured, divided, and unrecognizable mess. We are told there is no money for hospitals, schools, and housing. Yet there is always money for migrants, many of whom have no allegiance to Britain or its values. The truth is, this country is being deliberately destroyed from within. The people are being replaced, their culture erased, and their history rewritten, all to serve the agenda of a global elite who despise national identity and want a population too divided to ever fight back. Those who enforce these rules, the police, the bureaucrats, the social workers who steal children from families, the civil servants who rubber stamp injustice, are the ones making this system possible. They hide behind the excuse of just doing my job while destroying lives. History will not remember them as public servants. It will remember them as cowards. Britain is a miserable, broken nation, and it's getting worse. This is not the Britain our ancestors fought for. This is a country ruled by liars, thieves, and predators who see the public as nothing more than livestock. The working man is taxed into poverty. The elite are immune to justice, and the entire system is built to make life as unbearable as possible. If people do not wake up and resist, Britain will become a soulless, corporate-controlled dystopia where freedom is outlawed, dissent is crushed, and misery is the only certainty. The time for obedience is over. The time for truth is now.